Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel, and today I will be reading a multi-character questionnaire by me. So let's get into it. Neuvillette. Neuvillette did not know why you were doing this to yourself. He honestly thought it was a dangerous idea. Going drinking alone. Oh, you were so careless. You had called him in your drunken state, and he immediately came to retrieve you. Darling, just why did you go here? You could have at least told me, so I would know. You worried me greatly, he said, as you were now in his arms. He had paid for your drinks and carried you, wrapping you in his coat as you seemed to be a little cold. He did not know if you brought a jacket with you, but if that were the case, then you definitely lost it. Oh well, better it be a jacket than you. Either way, he was lecturing you even though you were drunk. He knew that you would not really remember any of this, but perhaps that was what drove him to be able to feel so brave with his words. Otherwise, he would not have the heart to tell you that he's upset with you and your behavior. And so, he kept on telling you how dangerous that was, how you made his heart drop, and how he could not take anything happening to you just because you went without telling anyone or even taking a friend. And once you were home, he laid you down on the bed gently, kissing your forehead. Sweet dreams, Wyan. And hopefully you won't have much of a terrible hangover in the morning, he said as he took off your shoes and tried to help make you a little bit more comfortable. And he didn't do more than that, as he did not want to remove your clothes without your permission. That was a boundary he was unwilling to cross. But he knew that he would stay in the guest room until morning, because surely you would need him then. Xiao honestly did not partake in drinking, and he could never see himself doing that. He had once been coaxed to do so by the Geo-Archon. But maybe it was an unwise decision, as he had lost control and tried to fight him personally. Thankfully, neither were harmed, and the Geo-Archon was quite forgiving. But Xiao was beyond embarrassed. Not only that, but it did not taste good, and also, it was very annoying in the morning. He could not actually believe the Animal Archon liked such things. Regardless, seeing you do that, it was rather unsavory for him, but it was nothing that he could stop you from doing. You were your own person, your own thinking person, and you could never try and prevent you from doing what you want. And as such, he had tried his best to keep away from things that are not his business, such as you drinking or not doing so. But it was certainly his business when he had called out his name, and he had teleported to you instantly, worry visible in his face. You were crying, calling him names and saying that he was a cheater, a married man. What were you even just talking about? I don't understand you, Mayan. Your friends were laughing, and you had to apologize to them, taking you away and carrying you in his arms. May you just explain what you were talking about? You married someone, and that person is not me. Look at you. You have a ring on your finger. You sobbed, and he just sighed, shaking his head. You gave it to me, remember? And we're still not married. We were planning our own marriage, though, and I hope it happens soon enough, if it prevents you from crying out loud like that, he said. It was needless to say that he was a little bit embarrassed. Quite a bit, because he was blushing, and he had actually resorted to teleporting you home. He could not handle the onlookers, and the people looking at the TV as you yelled loudly in the street. It was certainly endearing in its own way, though. Wriothesley, He actually found this pretty funny and entertaining, so he was not totally against it. In fact, he actually drank a little bit as well, but he was not a lightweight like you. So the fact that you had easily gotten drunk like this, it was definitely something to witness. You were trying to say things, words of wisdom, as you said, and he was trying his best not to laugh at you. Oh, Ion, if only you could see yourself in such a state. I doubt you would consider drinking again. I know. Such profound wisdom is too much for my head to handle. Your voice sounded weird, but he was not going to comment on that. He was simply entertained by your shenanigans, but he would certainly like to go out drinking with you. And one thing in particular that amazed him was the fact that you never managed to remember a single thing in the morning. And somehow, it was a relief because he knew that he would have to deal with you being embarrassed. But also, it made some lessons rather unlearnable and teachable for you. And he wondered if you could ever actually gain any knowledge from your own mistakes and any form of awareness. But maybe you were just bound to do that with time. Who knows? He certainly did not object, especially sometimes when you would take him to a secluded area in the restaurant or wherever you were drinking, and straight up just make out with him. That was certainly his favorite part of all of this. Arlecchino. Arlecchino was certainly someone to be with, and that's because she was kind of difficult, but also very entertaining, and very possessive and protective as a lover. Now, that side of her was a side that many have not seen, and it was still weird to witness even for those who are close to her. Needless to say, she really had many thoughts about you being drunk, but none of them were unkind, of course. She loved you, even in this current messy state of yours. Oh, darling, are you really sure of what you're saying right now? I am, Arlie. I saw him. I saw that man, and he was flying around me. You say as you hug her tightly, telling her to protect you from the flying man. She nodded. Of course, of course. I trust you, darling, and I would never doubt your words. They are of utmost importance to me, after all. So, about this flying man, you say? I think he has actually gone away. There's no need to be so worried. Unless, of course, you would still like me to hold on to you, which I don't mind. You nodded, and she chuckled. Perhaps you being drunk was not really that bad, especially if it meant you were being so clingy. It was quite adorable, and also something she found very good. She liked it when you were like that, holding on to her and refusing to leave. It went very well with her possessiveness, and made many of her worries go away. And when the two of you had to go home, you were still clinging to her, and she knew she had a lot to do to take care of you, and a hell of a hangover to deal with in the morning. But seeing you like this, and for you to be happy, it was certainly worth it. She would do a lot for you.